Okay, Adam and Skirian, we are watching Sully, Wolf player from the Skype group, who is having trouble with the Ganon matchup. Says he has trouble in neutral with fairs and wizard kicks. Like if he's trying to spam out with lasers, wizard kick just eats them and he gets bopped. And fairs just being an oppressive hitbox. After watching the video, I feel like he has more of a problem with just in general being patient and like lasering enough. And then on top of that, he's letting Ganon live for like way too long, and not like playing like edge guarding around Ganon's weaknesses. So if we hop into the game, maybe I can show you what I mean. Turn this down just a little bit. So this is a good start. He like lasers and the Ganon's just like, oh, okay, we're just going to get right into that, and shields, and then he throws a Nair on the shield. Nair Shine, he goes for the double shine here, and it's kind of like slow, so it just sort of ends up with him double jumping onto the platform. Good regrab though. He goes for shine back air, again, just a little bit too slow. I know he's capable of doing this because I watched another game where he beat a Ganon where he did like instant shine back air. So I won't try and discourage you from like practicing it and learning to do it properly. But another option when you're going for down throws off of stage, if they don't DI it very well, like in this situation where he just sort of he misses the platform but also doesn't go that far away from you, you can just drop zone footstool and then use your up B startup to grab ledge, and they're just in like a terrible position at that point. Another option is to back throw because Ganon's tech roll is really bad and it's really easy to tech chase Ganon to like oblivion. Food for thought. So shine back air doesn't work out, and we do a hard read on, you know, like getting up at that moment instead of re-grabbing ledge, and do a down air. And then we just sort of let him back on the stage. Yeah, we got punished for skidding there. Just make sure you always do something out of your full runs, whether it be duck or short hop or whatever. See, laser. At this point, I would probably go for RAR back air because like the angle's perfect, and I think Wolf has just enough distance to get like a pivot in. But we go for down air here, and I'm not a fan of down air anymore on Wolf. Like it's kind of weak, so it's easy to meteor cancel. The end lag on it is now like way longer, so you can't act as quick out of it. However, I do see an opportunity here because you down air so high. If you had just, instead of double jumping here, just let me see if I can get. You just fall. You would have fallen right in line, and if you had up B'd sideways to the ledge, you probably would have gotten just a free like ledge hog on him. Oh, and then at this point, anytime a Ganondorf goes off screen, like into the, blast line territory, you can basically bet that they're going to down B at some point, and you really need to position yourself off stage. And like you can just, there are audio cues, there's an animation cue, which granted you would have had to have been looking at watch the microscope over here, or magnifying glass. Like he does this the kick animation, so you know it's coming. If you just double jump and put a back air right around here, normally it's going to be down here, but they're just dead. And instead we go out like really late and then eat a back air, so we're just going to lose that stock. Whoops. So edgeguarding Ganondorf is not very difficult, and it's pretty predictable. His recovery patterns are very linear. However, if you mess them up, you basically lose a stock. So it's kind of a matter of getting comfortable with it. It's kind of like it's like a melee matchup that's like that. I guess Falco is kind of like that, like because if you just run into his side B, and there are just tons of weird ways to just die against Falco and Sheik, and it's kind of a bummer. So, personally, I would recommend putting the time in to just like learning, because you can always guarantee that a Ganondorf doesn't make it back on stage, or at the very least you force him to go onto stage instead of getting a ledge, and then you can just ledge hop over him and back air him off stage again or something. So we finish off this stock, and as we spawn, we get like a bad series of hits here. Sort of double jump out of hit stun there, and then like eat something. Yeah, you eat this back air, but you're at like low %, and so you crouch cancel it. But instead of like capitalizing on the crouch cancel, you double jump out of hit stun, like. And you try to come down with a down air, which I don't really recommend. And then you get B reversed up beat out of shield, which I think is hilarious that this Ganon does this. Because he's not even like in a good position after that. So you're in neutral, and I think you have the right idea here with the laser. But if I recall, you're not patient enough with it. You just go in afterward. Yeah. And then you throw out another laser that gets stuffed. The spacing is just not right for this. I would recommend like a Foxtrot forward, like shield, or just running past him. Because, I mean, let's look at how much time you had to react to the fact that he, like, jumped at you. Like, that was actually a double jump there. Like, he jumped and then he jumped again. It was kind of a, meh. You also gotta just full hop out of that. So we spawn and go off stage. And at this point, Ganondorf's really deep. And if I recall correctly, you sort of just let him back on. Personally, I'd try to like run to the ledge, pivot, wave dash off, and grab it. But he's also not even that good at sweet spotting. You could just walk up and down smash him, I think, because he's reaching so far over. Like, a down smash would just, I mean, he's not at a super high %, but at least something. You just feel like really unsure of yourself, at both when you're near the ledge and when your opponent's holding a ledge. There's a lot of ways to apply pressure, and it's just something to work on. Good tech chase. I think that was another shine back air that didn't quite execute properly. And then you just sort of let them get back up again. So wave dash back instead of like run away from the ledge, because that leaves you more options to punish like miss spacing or like, you know, miss sweet spots. So now you like dashed away and he feels pretty safe about like just getting up. Yeah, he does a perfect get up, or what is this called? Basically, he does the ledge hop where it's at the right height where there's no like normal landing lag with the clouds, and so he can shield right away. And you get the down air misses, but you all cancel it. So at this point, you basically are still in shield pressure. If you shine, I think it'll hit. No, it doesn't. It was just that spacing where you both missed. That's great. Then you short hop out or full hop out. Oh my gosh. Oh, this part. So you grab ledge, and he's baiting you with the float, and you think about it for just a second, not even a full second, but it's long enough that your invincibility is like running out, and you go for like a ledge attack. So I would definitely recommend, if you don't know what you want to do as soon as you grab the ledge, you ought to get in the habit of grabbing the ledge again. Because doing something with invincibility is usually better than doing nothing or anything else without it. Because those options become a lot less useful. And I don't really recommend doing get up attacks, but yeah, you get punished for that. And then we're just sort of going in neutral again. Your MO seems to be one laser aerial approach. And this is not particularly difficult to deal with. You're not varying your approaches very much, which is a lot more important for Wolf than the other two species. Yeah, that's slow, pretty slow ledge dash back on the stage. Get a little more crisp at that, like if you can go into the lab. You got a survival DI really early against Ganondorf, because if you're playing a person who doesn't like the combo, who just like straight hits like this guy a lot. I would also say experiment with up airs more, like up air juggling. Like I saw one, but there's a lot of times where like coming down on somebody with an up air is really good because you get that like late hit that puts you really close to the ground if they're shielding, and so like you have like a minimal amount of like recovery time off of that. I don't know. It seems to work really good against heavy characters where you can just come down on them with it and juggle them, versus like always doing your really narrow options when you come down, which are down air and nair. Yeah, so definitely work on like your edge guards more and play lamer. Like just grab ledge a lot more. Like practice like stealing ledge like in a quick fashion, like running toward the ledge and pivot, wave dashing off. Like Ganondorf can't live if you're doing that shit to him. He's really weak to having people put pressure on him when he's off stage. Like it feels bad because you're gonna lose stocks at first to like side B, like with choke slam bullshit and stuff like that. But as you get used to it, it's really not very good for Ganon to be off stage, and you should make him feel that way. And then definitely more patience in your neutral game. Like it's not that your lasers were getting stuffed that often. You were getting a lot of confirms off a laser. It's just that you do it the same way every time, and you do vary it up. Like if you don't even know what's going on as you start the game, it's good to just like spam lasers, because you're gonna like frustrate your opponent from the get-go, and then your aggressive options are gonna be all the more like effective because they're not expecting you to do it. Like if you put them, you can force people into mindsets with your playstyle, and people do this with Fox all the time. Like it's really important that you be able to turn aggression into defense on a dime, because it keeps your opponent guessing. It doesn't let them get used to any sort of tempo. And you can definitely control tempo with Wolf, which is one of his strong suits. Well, I think that's all I have to say on this particular video. Good luck in the future, and I hope this helps you out, man. See ya.